America has a long-term problem, and it's just getting worse. In 2016, the economy was going gangbusters. New jobs every month, wealth increasing, the GDP rising. The future was looking bright. And yet, Donald Trump got himself elected in large part by telling everyone how lousy things were. How did he do it? Among other things, the macro numbers looked great, but almost all of the new wealth was going to the top. Most Americans hadn't seen a real raise in decades, and Trump hit a nerve with the majority of Americans who weren't sharing in the new prosperity. Meanwhile, Democratic Party leaders were just paying lip service to the problems plaguing America. Barack Obama let millions of Americans lose their homes while bailing out the banks. Before him, Bill Clinton just kept approving corporate mergers and acquisitions while millions of jobs were being outsourced. And the Republican Party? Well, they're great at coming up with sound bites and slogans, which is a large part of why they keep winning, even when their actual ideology and policy keeps destroying things at home and abroad. It's no coincidence that the crash of 1929, the double-digit unemployment of 1982, and the Great Recession all occurred under Republican presidents. We need real progressive solutions to our problems, and there are, in the words of H. Ross Perot, all kinds of plans out there. Many progressives believe that the real problem is that nobody in power is willing to listen, and that's partly true. But the other part of the problem is that many progressives are pushing half-finished ideas rather than fully fleshed-out proposals. One of my favorite quotes is from H.L. Mencken. In 1917, he wrote, "There is always a well-known solution to every human problem, neat, plausible, and wrong." His point, I think, is that real solutions are complex. We live in a post-soundbite era when tweeting is how we communicate, especially in certain circles. So, naturally, anyone can fall prey to this formula of neat, plausible, and wrong, even progressives. Get money out of politics, the Green New Deal, even Medicare for All. These are all good progressive ideas, but putting them into practice in the real world, well, it's far more complex than can fit into a tweet, a campaign slogan, or even a video. Real solutions are complex, but they can be made clear, and that's why I'm starting this series. I want to take each issue, break it down, dig through the complexities of any possible solution, and make the details clear enough so that progressives and progressive organizations can not only be successful at getting solutions implemented, but have those solutions implemented in ways that can be successful. There is a new progressive movement that is slowly gaining steam. This movement can trace its roots at least back to 2003, when Howard Dean announced that he was running for president. Dean ran as the candidate from what he called the Democratic wing of the Democratic Party. His populist campaign struck a spark among the people, but it also struck fear into the hearts of Democratic leadership and its corporate backers. But Dean understood, as he later put it, that Democrats can't win by being Republican light. After his campaign ended, Dean created Democracy for America, and then he was elected chair of the Democratic National Committee, or DNC. Now, while Dean chaired the DNC, Democrats won the elections of 2006 and 2008 bigly, retaking both houses of Congress and the White House. Sadly, after the 2008 election, the Democratic Party went back to its centrist ways, and the progressive movement was kept under wraps for a while, although it partly broke out with the Occupy Wall Street movement in 2011. In 2014, when Democrats lost the Senate while running away from even the moderate policy known as Obamacare, Gary Peters won his Senate seat in Michigan on his support for Obamacare. 4 years later, when Democrats lost in North Dakota, Minnesota, Indiana, and Florida, all by trying to be centrists, Joe Manchin won in West Virginia, also on his support for Obamacare. The point is that by standing for something, Peters and Manchin won tough elections, even as Democrats who played it safe lost. The progressive movement saw new life with Bernie Sanders' 2016 presidential campaign, and since then the waves are just getting bigger. Sanders' 2020 run, and especially his early victories, well, they've reignited the debate about the path that the Democratic Party should be taking. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Warren has made major contributions, including the creation of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and her plans for, well, everything are becoming more and more a part of the debate. New members of Congress like Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley, Rashida Tlaib, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, well, they're shaking up the establishment on a regular basis. And then there's the amazing new House member Katie Porter, a former student of Elizabeth Warren's. A lot of progressive ideas are now being seriously debated, including a single-payer health system, a fairer tax code, wealth tax anyone, breaking up giant corporations, fair trade, not just free trade. In addition, the Me Too movement is still moving forward. It has even taken down two of the most powerful men in Hollywood. Addressing global climate change and other environmental issues, they're front and center. Progressives can and must force the Democratic Party to understand that they cannot win except by being aggressively and proudly progressive. We can and we must force the Republican Party to quake at the thought that an emergent progressive Democratic majority will once again relegate them to long-term minority status unless they too change with the times. We can and we must leave the mainstream media with no choice but to abandon its pro-corporate ways and welcome the new progressive movement. The new progressive era will be a time for greater equality, greater opportunity, and greater improvements in all our lives. Progressive issues can and must be winning issues. But we must be on guard against oversimplifying our efforts. We must always remember that there are essential details that cannot be overlooked. We must not fall prey to another round of what are often called unintended consequences that are often just the result of solutions that are neat, plausible, and wrong. I hope you'll join me in this journey to examine progressive solutions that truly are solutions. Not permanent solutions, because in an ever-changing world, new problems will always emerge, but solutions that can make things better today and better prepare us to meet the challenges of tomorrow. As we go along, I'm sure my style will evolve. I'll be trying different approaches, different methods, different techniques. I'll be learning as much as you will, and I welcome your comments. Let me know what you like and also what you think I can do better. Also, you can be a part of this journey to find and spread the word about real progressive solutions. If you have any specific proposals for solutions, put them in the comments of one of my videos. I'll see your idea and I just might do a video on your solution. Even if I've already done a video on a specific topic that you know a lot about and you have a different solution, put that in the comments. I might do a second video showing your solution as an alternative. After all, there are all kinds of plans out there. Finally, if you want to help spread the word, click on the subscribe button below and also hit that thumbs up button as well. My plan is to publish a new video every Thursday morning, but the best laid plans. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Now let's get progressive.